are going to talk about effective living. And the effective living starts with thinking right. Because if you think right, you will do right. But if you think wrong, that means you will make wrong choices, wrong decisions, and at the end, you will have a miserable life. But to think right, that means you must have a good input in terms of the books you read, in terms of the information that you always listen to, the movies that you watch, and the people you hang around with. Because one man said, you are the average of the 5 people whom you hang around with. So if your input is good, that means the output will also be good, because there is a computer language which says garbage in, garbage out, meaning what you put here is what gets outside. What you put in the computer is what it will put out. That means if you put good ideas here, good ideas in your head, that means good ideas will come out. And today, before I came here, I made a little prayer to the Almighty God, and I asked Him to give me a little stronger gift of communication, so that I can communicate well, and my words will have power to transform and change your life. That my words will have more meaning today. Maybe I've just caught you at the right time. Maybe this is the right moment for you that you've been waiting for, that will mark a turnaround in your life, that will mark a turning point in your life. It's a remarkable day for you, maybe. And that you will see opportunities the way you've never seen before. You begin to see more possibilities in life than you've ever seen. And you begin to see yourself more successful than you've ever seen yourself. And in effective living, the first aspect we need to talk about is communication. And communication here, I'll divide it into 3 parts, 3 components. I'll divide it into 3 components. And the first one is how you communicate to other people. And the second one is how you communicate to yourself. When you are alone in your room, when you are alone in your own time, what do you communicate to yourself? What do you tell yourself when no one is there? The another one is the communication that we receive from other people. Because all these components of communication, they affect us differently. They affect how we live our life. They affect how we relate with other people. And we shall begin with communicating to other people. It is very paramount, it is very important how we communicate to other people. Because we live in an age where it is more about who you know than what you know. That means if you communicate well, it will introduce you to new people who will open doors for you, who will bring opportunities for you, who will introduce you to places which you do not reach if your communication was poor. So it is very important to check how we communicate. Because it's only a few people who succeed on their own resources or family resources. And you cannot succeed in a vacuum or alone. But most of the people, they succeed on people's talents, time, and resources. But in order for those people to invest in you, you must convince them. You must communicate well. And so this is what we are learning today. And if we can learn the art of communication very well, it will change our life. It will drastically change the way we relate to other people. That means our relationships will change. So, in communicating with other people, we'll talk about the 4 levels whereby other people communicate to exchange, just casual talk. Then other people communicate to connect, like communicating, and then you get a relationship. And then other people communicate to motivate. That means their speeches are sweetened with more meaning. Then the other people, that's the 4th level and last level, and the greater level. Other people communicate to inspire. Inspiring simply means you enable people see themselves than they are. I know sometimes people mess up, and maybe you may need to point it out that please, maybe you're in a mess, you made mistakes, but you don't leave them there. Now you have got to transport them into the future with the gift of your language and show them the person they can become. And you can only do this when you know how to communicate. When you know how to communicate to other people, how to communicate to transform lives, how to communicate and change them. Because as we go on in life, you realize that we always communicate. Because where there are 2 people, you're bound to communicate. Whether you're a student, still you have a parent who is paying for you tuition, no fees. You have to communicate to him to give you that money. So now you're 2 people. That means there is an art that you should learn. And if you learn that, your life will change. Your plans that you have, your ideas that you have that have been lacking funding, now you get someone to fund you. So now you learn how to communicate. And in inspiring, you must have a vision whereby how do you want these people to be? How do you want your life to be? Because vision simply means you getting a picture of where you want to be, of what you want to have in a particular period of time. But without it, that means you're on a journey without a destination. And it means you will wander aimlessly in life, looking for answers, and only to end up knowing what you already knew at the first time, whereby nothing will improve in your life, nothing will change. And the second one, the second aspect in communication is how you communicate to yourself. You know, some people when they are alone, their communications are very poor. The way they communicate to themselves. You know, you find them saying, me, I'm poor, I come from this. You find them every talk they put out is about their weakness, about their weakness. For them, they never feel good talking about that thing that they are good at. So for them, all the time they're talking, they assume a victim mentality. They want to be victims and they make people sympathize with them. But no one has ever changed the world with a sympathy. So for if you go around with excuses, wanting people to sympathize with you, because your communications are poor, so even the communications you put out will also be poor. Because your input is wrong, that means your output will be wrong. Just as if the garbage in is wrong, that means the garbage out will also be wrong. You get it? So they will sympathize with you, but you never influence anyone in this world with such a mentality. So we have got to change. Communicate to yourself that you are well able, that if it's skills, you will acquire them, but stop demotivating yourself. You see, like putting yourself down, you know, that you have low value. No one says that to yourself, but it's you. This issue of this aspect of communicating, how you communicate to yourself, you even see it in the Bible, whereby there are people where the children of Israel were God wanted them to cross to go to the promised land, and when they are about, they told them to send messengers to go and survey the land. And when other people came, they said, hey, we found giants there, and we looked like grasshoppers in their eyes. And those people were the other side. They never said that these people were like grasshoppers. But these people, because of the way they see themselves, they have low esteem, low confidence. The way they communicate to themselves is so poor. So even this time when they sent to them, they came back and they said, hey, we were like grasshoppers. But they are themselves telling themselves that we are like grasshoppers. No one said so. But that's how they were communicating with themselves. And they died. So such a communication, I've never seen them go anywhere. Those people communicate like that to themselves. Who always communicate their weaknesses. They seek to exalt their weakness than to bring out their abilities, so that their abilities can overshadow their weaknesses. And even they talk about their weaknesses all the time, and they're not ready to take them out or to work on them. They're not ready to change. They just simply continue talking about them. Because if at all they take out their weaknesses, they have nothing to talk about. Because for them, they're used to talking about bad things. And that is very bad. Another set of people were sent, another set of spies. For them, Joshua and Caleb, when they came, said, we are well able, we can take it. And that is the attitude that I want us to take from today. We are well able. We are able, we can do it. If other people can do it, we can also do it. They are flesh and blood. We are flesh and blood. They are born of a woman. We are also born of a woman. If they can do it, we can also do that. We can also do it. And if we take that mentality, if we feed ourselves with such a mentality and with such ideas, we will do great things. We'll leave a great legacy. We'll be influential. We will shape our generation. We'll be men of influence. We will become a force to reckon with. You get it? So, let's learn how we communicate ourselves. You're so precious. And you can only communicate well to yourself. You can build your confidence, your self-esteem, and your self-worth when you know your identity, who you are. You're not a small person. No, you're a big person, and you are loved, and you have a purpose to fulfill, and you're carrying something great on the inside of you. Maybe you've forgotten about it, but it's time to resurrect those desires that you've been having. Let them come up. Let that fire come up. That zeal you used to have, those goals, those ambitions, where did they go? That person that used to communicate well to himself or to herself, that things will be okay. That I'm going through a winter, something good will come out. That person who used to communicate that so may endure for the night, but tomorrow, but during the day, things will work out. What happened? What happened? You see? And in communicating to ourselves, we must be true to ourselves. Those things that are working out, we must improve. Then those that are not serving us, we must put them in check. We put them in check. Those that are bad, we do away with them. And now we look at something that will serve us better, something that will improve our life. And if you're true to your past, you only need a good memory. But rest assured that you will never get anywhere if what you do is remembering the past, and exaggerating it. Fine, look at the past for experience and look at the future for inspiration. Look at the past for experience and look at the future for inspiration. So don't remain in the past. I think we all know the story of Lot's wife. For her, all she could do was to look in the past. They were moving and they told them, don't look in the past. Don't look behind. And she looked behind. You know, what happened? She became a statue. So people who look at the past, they become static. No, statues are static. They never move, never go anywhere. So if you concentrate on the past and you're not learning anything, but you just concentrate there just because you want or to see as a victimized person, you never gain anything in life. You'll be static. But if you're willing to be true to your future self, willing to be true to the person you can become, then you need a vision. You need to be clear of the person you want to become and of how you will alive them. And the words that we are communicating today, they are very serious, because the life in the 21st century is very scarce. Things are changing every day. It is very dynamic. So if we are to win, if we are to touch many people than we touched last year, we also need to be dynamic. Acquire more ideas. That's how we can change and influence people. That's how we can become influential people. That's how we can become a force to reckon with. And another one is how the communication of other people affect us. The problem is some people are surrounded by energy vampires. These are people who suck you. They suck your energy, whereby the vibe of feeling okay, feeling happy, excited to do the job. Some people that they are fond of just demoralizing other people. So you must put in check your group. The people you hang out with, are they serving you? What are the ideas? What you spend all day talking about? Because a unit of destiny is time. So time is a great asset in a man's life. So if you waste it, chances are your life will not be so useful as it would be if you managed your time very well. You see? So these people we spend time with, they should be good people who encourage us, who lift us. Even the movies that we watch should be good, not those that expose us to wrong thinking. They should be the ones that expose us to right thinking, so that we can think right, do right, and achieve right. That's when we can become influential people in this world. So if the books we read, we must take care. And you can only read the right things, listen to right things, when you've discovered yourself and you discovered what you want in life. And my prayer is that you receive the grace to discover yourself early, and great minds whose work will drastically and dramatically change your life. Because for me, I discovered myself early. I realized I wanted to be a doctor and also a public speaker. And that I've done so well. Every day I've been improving. I've done this when I didn't want to. I've done it when it was hard. I've done it when it was easy. But I did it anyway, because I knew it's what I wanted to do in life. And you see, so even you, today you must check what you want to do in life. Because me, the books I don't read, because they're not concerned, they're not related to what I want. So now I read the right books. You see? But so if you are going to be in fashion, then you have to read the fashion books. If you want to be in motivation, there are books on that. Books on all that. In leadership, be a leader. Be an effective leader. There are books on that. Management, there are books on management. So you have to know engineering, there are books on that. So you must know what you want in life. This will affect how you spend your time, the people you spend your time with, the people you relate with, and everything that you do in your life. This will also help you. This is a right woman, because they say, I remember Adam, you see, God said he saw Adam was not doing well, he wasn't happy, and then God said, oh, let me give you a helper. So women are helpers, but meaning they will come and help you in that thing that you set out to do in your vision. So whether a teacher, whether a public speaker, or a doctor. But an issue comes when for you don't know what you want in life, or when you've not figured it out early. So you get someone who is fit or suitable for a doctor, yet you're a teacher. You're going to get problems in your relationship. You're meant to support a teacher, but now she found a doctor. Things are hard. Maybe she was meant to support a musician, and now for you, a doctor. Now she sleeps outside, she goes to Vivulu, she's no longer at home. to support you. You come back tired from theater, from operations, but no one is there to help you calm down. You get my point. And if we want to get far, we must learn to prioritize things. For example, the Bible says, make yourself, there's a verse which says, make yourself good in the field, and then you make yourself a home. That means if you want to build a strong life, if you want to build an influential life, and to leave a legacy in life, you must do things in a systematic order. There's a pattern you must follow if you want to build a great life, if you want to be great, and if you want to influence more people. There's a pattern you must follow while preparing your life, while seizing opportunities, and in the days of earlier preparation, there's a pattern you must. And there is a time, and mostly why I love talking to youth so much is because when you're a youth, you have a lot of time whereby you can experiment and know things which can work out and things which cannot work out. But when you're too mature, you're in the evening of your time or evening of your days. For example, you're 50, you're 60. Sometimes there is no much time. There's so much on you, requiring your attention. And the time is very small to attend to them. But when you're a youth, you have time to explore and learn things which can work and things which cannot work out for you. You learn where your abilities are, and you can learn as much skills as you can, and then you sing out those few which can serve you very well. And so I feel excited because when the youth are taking this knowledge, because you have to get as more knowledge as possible. Because as you acquire more knowledge, you become unfit to be a slave. And when I realized that when you are ignorant, you become a slave, that thing you are ignorant to, I started searching out knowledge. And in my life, I'll continue searching out knowledge. Because the more knowledge you have, the more you are unfit to be a slave. You get, because most of the things you will handle them very well. The conman will not come and take your money. No, you are knowledgeable about it. And that's what will improve your life. And you live a better life, and you live an effective life, and everything will work out perfectly in your life. And we must acquire as much skills as we can while we are still youth. So right now, when we grow, then we see now which ones are more valuable in the marketplace. Where can I be paid daily? Which ones am I more passionate about? Which one can I maximize and touch more people and influence more people and transform more people? Now you focus on them. But when you have got a variety of skills, because the issue or the problem or the dilemma of having only one skill, I guess it was seen in the COVID time. You realize teachers now they stopped teaching. The schools were closed, and those who had acquired more than 2 skills, they were doing well. When schools were closed, they started doing something good with their lives, and life moved on. They could feed their families, clothe them, so things were working out. And those that only knew one skill to teach, life was hard for those people. At that time, they were just living on handouts. Things weren't favorable for those people. So let us acquire as much skills as we can. So we saw it. People, but if you don't, so the more skills you have, you're on a safe side. Because the world is so dynamic, things change. Because remember, back in the day, typewriters were there and people loved them so much. But then we no longer use them. Typewriters are there and more other things. So if you only knew how to make typewriters, now that no one can buy it, what will you eat? What will you feed your family? You see? That means you will no longer become relevant in the society. So let us acquire more skills that will enable us to be relevant in our societies and to influence it. And there's a story that Aurora is lived today. It's a story of my uncle. He was really a good uncle, but he only learned one skill. and he acquired a job in a certain company. For more years, therefore, he worked for so many years in that company. And that time was very young. But time came and this company collapsed. So, because my uncle, he loved his job. He loved it so much. He loved his job. Of all things, he loved his job. And this company collapsed, so my uncle was laid off. But because he didn't know what else to do, he only knew how to do that job. He was always working hard on his job, then working hard on himself, on developing himself, whereby he can acquire more skills and do more things, whereby even when the job has gone, he can still survive. So this man, my uncle, he went into depression. He took to drinking alcohol. He abandoned his family because his heart was shattered. Because this one thing that he knew how to do was taken away from him. And no other company gave him a job. He took to drinking till the day he died. His life deteriorated. A man that had a nice job, a man that had a wonderful life going on, everything ended in shambles. And because at that time I was so young, there's no way I could help him. There's no way I could take out those chains, Maybe if I was mature as I am today, maybe I could help him somehow. But I was so young at that. But one thing I promised myself is that I will never leave any other person I know or any person that I can reach live such a life again. I will never leave any person I know to know only one skill. It is very bad. It is very bad. Because if your skill you've been knowing requires hands, and now you get God forbid, now you get an accident, you no longer have hands, how will you feed? How will you feed yourself? No way. But if you have another one, it can help you. It can help you. So every day, this is the message that I spread. That every skill that you can get it. Then you can reach something and focus and maximize those ones which you think you are good at and you are passionate about, and they can also help you get your life going. So, and I thank God that people have been taking this message and it has been changing their lives tremendously. And another thing let's talk about is 5 years from now, you will arrive somewhere. But the question is where? Because 5 years from now, you don't want to arrive at a life that is not well designed. You don't want to arrive at an undesigned future, an undesigned life. Because I know 5 years from now, some people will be having results and other people, they'll be having explanations. Explaining, coming up with lots of excuses why life didn't work out for them. Yet other people, their results will be showing, because within 5 years, they'll become productive. Within 5 years, they'll become more influential. They'll touch more lives. Why? Because they're going to improve their lives. They're going to have what we call personal development, acquiring the skills that are needed. So 5 years, you need to design your life, whereby you arrive at a well-designed life. You arrive at a good life and not at a bad life. You need to arrive at a life that is so nice, that is pure, that is so beautiful for you. And if you don't design your life, I assure you, 5 years from now, you'll be wearing what you don't want to wear. You'll be putting on what you don't want to put on. You'll be associating with people you don't want to associate with. And you'll be working with people whom you don't want to work with. And you'll be doing what you don't want to do, what you don't want to do. And you'll be sleeping in places where you don't want to sleep. So the opportunity is now to design your life in 5 years. The knowledge has come, the light has come, and the opportunity has come. Now it's upon you to take it or to leave it. But if you take it, life will be good. You'll be driving what you want to drive. You'll be sleeping at places that you wish. You'll be associating with people that you want. But if you don't take it, you don't take this knowledge, because the truth is, 5 years from now, you'll be regretting. You'll be singing like Alakeri, his song which says, "If I could turn back the hands of time." Because in that song, he says, if he could turn back the hands of time, maybe that woman would be his. And for you, you also be singing like him. Maybe if you could turn back the hands of time 5 years back, maybe that woman will be yours that is being taken from you. Why? Because you don't have the resources to take care of her. Because you don't have the resources to put up a kind of life, to put up with the kind of life that she wants. 5 years from now, you'll be saying, if you could turn the hands of time back, maybe you could be living a better life. You could be living in a better house. Your family will be living a better life. So to avoid the regrets, to avoid the saying, oh, if I could turn back the hands of time, like Alakedi, the time is now, whereby we can change our life drastically. Because in planning a life or a beautiful or bright future, it takes time, but it is worth it if you know what you want in life. You realize that after 5 years, you realize that whatever you went through is worth it. Because the life will be so beautiful, the life will be so nice that you wouldn't wish to miss it, that you wouldn't afford not to have it. You get it? So let us take this knowledge, because all these things, they benefit those that believe. But there is a verse from the ancient book which says that we had the word like them, but they that had it, not mixing it with faith or not believing it, it never profited them. So you can hear this message and leave it like that. But if you hear this message and you take it, oh my God, there's a lot to gain. Your life